Welcome, everyone. Amy on Fire here, and I'm so glad you decided to take some time out of your super busy day to learn how you can make some money right now. When you are done watching this, you'll be ready to go out and make a few $100s this week. You are in the right place if you are a single mom like me who is sick and tired of seeing the disappointment in your kids' faces every time you miss an event. If you are working yourself to death to support your kids, and most of all, if you are ready to end the cycle of having more month than money. In this video, I'm going to share with you the top ways I have personally used to make money quickly when times have been tough. I'll show you how you can easily make $300 or more this week from items you already have in your house. I'll also share some long-term solutions so you can continue to make extra money week after week without having to leave your kids more than you already do. These kids here are my inspiration for everything I do. I actually have a son too, but he wouldn't pose with the ducklings. But seriously, they're my everything, and disappointing them just is not an option, and I'm sure it's not for you either. A little bit about me. I was a stay-at-home mom by choice for over 14 years. I have a bachelor's in psychology, but we decided we wanted to parent home with our kids if possible. I homeschooled our three children entirely until last year when my middle child decided to try public school. So now I have kids in both. We were a military family. My ex is in the Coast Guard, and we have lived all over, and my kids were all born in different states. My ex is an alcoholic, unfortunately, and his addiction is what ultimately destroyed our relationship and left me looking for a way to have an income. We're in the process of getting divorced after 17 years of marriage. I was literally petrified the effects of me not being home anymore would have on our kids. It's part of why I didn't leave years sooner, to be honest. I didn't want to put my preschoolers or toddlers in daycare. I had a daughter who was sick, and I didn't trust putting her anywhere. Plus, she was always, not feeling well. We didn't sleep. She had food she couldn't eat. It was really difficult. And I didn't want to worry about my son with ADHD at a public school. So the idea of being gone 50 hours a week just completely broke my heart. I couldn't do it. But eventually, things just got worse and worse, and enough was enough. The bad outweighed the good, and I had to get out to save our sanity. I'm really happy I was able to wait long enough so that all but my youngest is old enough to be at home alone now. That took a big stress off my shoulders. Plus, I saw my kids' stress levels decrease after we moved out. Huge relief. But financially, as you know, the struggle is real. I do whatever I can to make sure my kids have everything they need and more, but the money is always running out. I know you've been there too, right? For example, the restaurant I used to wait tables at was losing business steadily, and my income was on a slow but certain decline. All of a sudden, it seemed, my income was half of what it was. My lawyer fees were growing, and I just didn't have enough anymore and was literally scraping by. I had summer camps to pay for that I promised my kids they could go to, and I just couldn't bear to disappoint them on something so important to them after, changing our lives the way we had. I had to find a way to get some cash fast. But the question was how. I I didn't know how I could spend more time away and still take care of them all the time and make sure everything was done and be, as a single mom, we're everything to everyone. Nothing's easy. And then suddenly I looked around my house and I thought, look at all this junk taking up space and making my life miserable. I just started realizing how much stuff we had that we didn't use. I went through closets, the garage, the attic, and I found all kinds of stuff I could sell. I was brutal. I'd been separated for a year and holding on to all kinds of things that were really just dragging me down. Sure, I'd chosen my china because I loved it, like, almost 20 years ago, but so many things lost their lackluster after moving out. I mean, honestly, seeing the things from my marriage just tended to stir up feelings of irritation. Plus, I never even used those dishes or the crystal, even when we were married. So, what was the point of storing these things? I had a headboard my daughter was never going to use, a whole set of GeoTrax trains from when my son was little, stacks of books below my youngest child's reading level, a trailer bike, and more. That baggage was incredible and weighing on me both physically and mentally. And I know you know there's no time to clean in our lives, so why do we need extra stuff to pick up? So I got busy listing all these things and made over $500 in about a week's time. How did I do this? I used four super easy to use and readily available avenues: Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Let Go, and eBay. Facebook Marketplace is free to use and really the most convenient if you're one of the billions of people who use it on a daily basis. You get the biggest reach of people locally, plus those within a reasonable distance beyond that. It's integrated with Facebook and Messenger, so you won't miss alerts from the people who are interested in your stuff. Plus, if you join local yard sale groups, for example, Springfield Trash and Treasure, Springfield Yard Sale, Springfield, Swap, there's lots of different names you can look for locally. But you'll get even more exposure because you can automatically post it to those groups at the same time as you list it in the general marketplace. The more eyes you get on what you have to offer, the more likely it is that you'll sell it. OfferUp is a straight up app, and for the most part, you can use it completely free. It has a really easy user interface and may be safer than Facebook in that you can keep your identity more private. Um, and as such, it doesn't require Facebook membership. So if you're not a Facebook user, this might be a better option for you. The only thing that you really pay for is you can pay to bump your posts after a while so that it gets kind of bumped up to the top of the listings, but it's not necessary. Let Go is another app that's free to use. Like OfferUp, it doesn't require Facebook and keeps your identity more private. It also has cutting edge image recognition so that when you take a photo, it automatically starts to label and categorize it for you. It's really cool. You can change what it says, but it really does make things simple for you. The last outlet I used was eBay. eBay is a little different, and you definitely want to do your best to keep your listings looking professional. Photo quality is super important here. While eBay is popular and it's been around the longest, it's also harder to use than the others, mainly because so many people use it and also run businesses on there. It is a fee-based service and it has lots of rules for listing. The policies are pretty much the customer is always right kind of thing, so it's much harder on sellers. You need to be really careful. I would say this is the best platform for odd items and antiques and things like that, though, because it does get worldwide reach. For example, I've had more luck selling my crystal on eBay than locally. There are a lot of finer points with eBay, and you can get really in depth with selling there. What can I sell? Literally anything. I mean, maybe skip the used underwear and socks, but anything else in good condition is game. You never know what someone is looking for, even parts to things. So brainstorm things that you don't use that are taking up space, items you're saving just in case, outgrown and unused sports equipment, jewelry. Time to say goodbye to that engagement ring and wedding band, ladies. Your wedding dress. Yes, it's beautiful. You love it, but it's sitting in a box doing nothing. And you know what? Chances are no one else is going to wear it. Sell it. Furniture you don't really like or want. China, silverware, crystal, name brand clothing, old pet supplies, aquarium, bird cage, dog crates, children and baby items you no longer use or outgrown. Those always sell. Sell your expensive car for a cheaper one. Get rid of the kitchen appliances and gadgets that you don't use. What about electronics, old cell phones, computers, DVD players, tablets? Home decor like curtains, decorative pillows. Really, the possibilities are endless. There's so many things you can find that other people will give money for. And often it's things that you just don't even realize that they will give you money for. Ladies, you don't even realize it, but you're sitting on a gold mine. I know we all have too much stuff. There are things that we just aren't using that are making us miserable because, let's face it, it's more things for us to clean up, dust, store, and worry about. When it comes time to list your items, there are things you can do to help make them more likely to sell. The biggest thing to think about is photo quality. It matters a lot. Think about it. If you can't tell what something is or see the details, are you really interested in buying it? Think about your background. Do you really think this shows off this Walking Dead bracelet well? It's probably a really cool charm bracelet, but it's really hard to tell in this picture. Had this been on a simple white or black background, I think it would have gotten engagement. Literally no one was clicking on this photo that I found. It doesn't even have to be something expensive or complicated. Had this person used a plain colored sheet, a piece of paper even, it would have really showcased the bracelet and not the leopard print that it's on. Think about lighting. Which of these chairs would you be most likely to stop scrolling and take a look at? Neither of these pictures is perfect, but that's the point. It doesn't have to be perfect. But you do have to put in some effort and thought into these things. Make sure the items you are selling are clean when you take their pictures too. Seeing something dirty and stained in a picture as I'm scrolling around looking for stuff to buy does not make me stop to look at it. The other important decision you have to make is pricing, and you definitely need to do your research here and not just pick a random number. It's honestly better to err on the low side than the high. Plus, that usually makes your stuff sell faster. Sometimes it's better to sell it quickly than get 10 more dollars for it. Trust me, just get it done and get your money. To figure out the best pricing, search on eBay for sold items. Even if you're not going to use eBay, it's really a good guide. You'll have to use their filters for searching and set it to do so. You can set it for completed items and sold items. Um, but if you don't do this, you won't really get an accurate idea of what prices your items are actually selling for. Just because something is listed for a price does not mean anyone will actually buy it. Sometimes you'll see tons of items listed for a certain price, but no one is actually buying the ones listed at that price. So you need to know what is really selling. You should also search on the apps that you're using to sell on, like OfferUp and LetGo, and do see what similar items are listed for. Again, you don't really know if they're selling for those, but it does give you a guide of where to start. So a few more things to keep in mind. Make sure you use as many keywords as you can in your title and listing for easier searching. You'll want to think of words that someone else might use looking for the item. For example, some may spell things differently, like bunk bed versus bunk bed, or they may use different words altogether for an item, like some people calling it a chest of drawers or a bureau or a dresser, or things like nightstand versus bedside table. Also, consider posting multiple photos of your item from different angles and including any applicable labels. And ladies, this is probably the most important of all. Safety. Please make sure you are safe about meeting buyers. Either choose a neutral and safe meeting place, like some police stations have specific online trading spots, or be sure to meet your buyers outside of your house. I always have my phone on me and my kids inside knowing I'm meeting a buyer out front. Now, I've never had anyone to even be concerned about, but do please be aware of the slight potential for danger. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Okay, so now you've gone through your house. You've sold all your spare stuff, but you still need extra money, right? It only lasts so long. The kids keep growing and needing new clothes. And if you have teens, you know they never stop eating. So now what? Well, we all need this quick fix for extra cash sometimes. What if you could build a continuous income instead? Imagine if you could find a way to make this much income every month without having to have another job that required you to leave your kids even more than you already have to now. I'm assuming you're like me and you hate that you have to worry about money all the time. You hate that you have to leave your kids so often to make enough money to just get by. And it tears you apart every day that you have to leave them again to go to work. I don't know your personal situation, but like I said earlier, I was a stay-at-home mom before our marriage ended and we moved out. This has not been an easy transition, and I still struggle with it. I never had to miss ball games before or performances or be so concerned about schedules and who was going to be where and how to get people places and who'd be home and who's going to watch who and who's going to eat what and how. It's honestly something we should not have to go through. It was terrible one night um, when I had to find a way for my daughter to get to and from dance class because I had to work that night. And she got really upset that her brother was going to have to walk her there and it was cold out. And she just yelled, "Why do I even go to dance if you can't take me?" That was crushing. It's not enough to make some money this week. You need a way to make more money every month without sacrificing even more time at home with your kids. Imagine what it would be like if you could even make enough income to cut back at your current job or jobs, or even quit them altogether. I know it seems too good to be true, but it's really not. What if you could build something bigger? What if you could build a side hustle that could actually someday become your full-time hustle? If you don't have big dreams and goals, you'll end up working really hard for someone who does. Ouch, right? Wouldn't it be great to only answer to yourself? Make your own schedule? There are many ways out there to build a side hustle, but one of the ones I'm going to tell you about today takes what you've just learned about and builds upon it. Flipping items. You can actually search thrift stores, yard sales, and even discount stores like Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Big Lots, Ross, etc., for good deals and items that you can sell for profit. You can easily research items you see in stores with your phone. Check eBay, Amazon, etc. for the popularity and resale value of the things you're thinking of purchasing. And of course, don't forget to search eBay for sold items so you know how well it's actually selling before you take it home. You can list your items for profit on eBay or as an Amazon seller, which is a little more complicated. But you may also be able to flip things locally on the apps you learned about today. There are actually Facebook groups all about learning how to flip items on Amazon. Now, there are pros and cons to building a side hustle this way. The pros, you have complete control over your hours. You can do your item searching on your own time while the kids are taken care of. Or if you want to take them with you, you can, and you can teach them how to help. You also have control over how much money you make by deciding how much time you want to put into flipping items. Now, there are some cons to this too. This is a constant ongoing hustle with no real potential for growth except for you putting more time and money into it. All of the work falls on you. So, given all that, what if I told you there's actually a better way? Successful people aren't gifted. They just work hard, then succeed on purpose. See, there's no magic wand I can give you to make money. No matter what avenue you choose, it takes hard work to reach success. Putting in the time to learn, cultivate, and grow a business is inevitable if you want to grow something big enough to allow you to earn a good chunk of extra money each month, or ideally, have become your only source of income so you can really live your life by design on your own terms. But what if you could do this a better way, with a method that lets you work smarter, not harder, as time goes on? Wouldn't it be nice to work from home and have total control over your own schedule? No more worrying about your kids coming home to an empty house while you work, tearful drop-offs at daycare, or sad faces when you miss yet another baseball game. There are many options out there for building a side hustle, depending on your personal interests and goals. And I encourage you to research them to find the best fit for you and your lifestyle goals and interests. But if you are into natural health, are driven to help others, are a self-starter, are longing for a community that really gets you, then you will want to learn more about what I do. So before I tell you exactly what, let me tell you why, because this is super important to me and it's what drives me each and every day. I'm so tired of saying no all the time. No to going to the things my kids are doing. No to taking them places. No to buying the things they want. It sucks. I hate seeing the disappointment in their faces. And I really hate being exhausted when I do have time to hang out with them or broke. I've built a business before and I'm setting out to do it again, but bigger and better this time. And I want to help as many single moms as I can do it along with me. I'm doing this as a wellness coach, helping others feel their best with natural herbal remedies and teaching others to do the same. It's my passion to help others be healthy in mind and body, and I'm looking for other moms who want to do that as well. Wouldn't you love to make an extra $500 or more a month doing something you love doing from home and build it into a full-time income? This is my friend Kristen, and she is just an absolutely amazing woman and mother. She has achieved the status of a top leader in just 2 months while helping others be their best in mind and body, while also helping others work on their own personal business goals. Can you imagine being able to make more money than what you're going to make selling your stuff this week by doing something like this? I know, I know. Before you're like, but Amy, I don't know anything about how to do any of that. Just wait, breathe, take a deep breath, relax. Do you really think I would ask you to work with me and send you on your way? No, I have a system in place to not only help you set up your own business, but to help you succeed. I'll be your partner and hold your hand until you're ready to fly on your own. Plus, you not only get me, but a larger group of absolutely amazing people to support and guide you along the way. Let me back up a sec here. I know that being a single mom can be extremely lonely and isolating, and you feel like no one cares or understands. But I just can't even tell you that this company, this family I'm a part of, has given me a sense of confidence and acceptance like no other I've been a part of. You are literally never alone in this. It's time for you to leave behind the bad. No more leaving crying kids. No more disappointed faces. No more missing everything. No more coming home to kids already asleep when you would have loved nothing more than to have spent the evening cuddling on the couch. No more mom guilt. You can become the mom you dream of by building a side hustle. I will only be taking on 5 new specialists this month. Why only 5? Because you're important. There's no way I could give you the personal guidance and attention you deserve if I accepted every single person interested into my mentorship. At the same time, don't let that intimidate you. Working with me is more about your heart and drive than anything else. My big heartfelt goal is to help 50 other single moms start making at least $500 a month by working with me and creating a side hustle they love. And eventually helping you all quit the jobs that are taking you away from your babies so many days a week. If you're up for helping me achieve this huge goal by creating the possibility of a new future for you and your kids, then click that button below and schedule a time for us to talk one-on-one. I can't wait to speak with you.